And good morning, everybody. Welcome to TheW.A.SPodcast. This is a different segment. This segment is called Mondays with Willie. Yeah. Sorry about the camera angle. I'm on my way to the office. You know, as it is, it's 7 a.m. On a Monday. Oh my days. But yeah. So basically, on Mondays with the Willie, we're going to be talking about just career growth, business in general, well, everything. I think everything that touches me and everything that I touch. That sounded like a Lion King. You know what I mean? Like where everything the light touches. Yeah, I can't remember the word, but yeah, I can't remember the words, but it sounded wise. So yeah. So this is a different segment. It's still part of the TheW.A.SPodcast. As you know, Wilson Anderson Simwanza. I didn't even do my welcome to the TheW.A.SPodcast. My name's Wilson Anderson Simwanza, and you're listening to the Wars. So yeah, guys. So I appreciate your support on this one too. Continue to support the TheW.A.SPodcast, and yeah, we'll continue to bring content to you that subscribes to us. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and of course share. So yeah, so today on the first episode of Mondays with Willie, we're gonna be talking about how forming a good team is pivotal to success. Okay. On the next episode, I'm going to talk about the strategy that we use, or I use, or that I have come up with. It's based off of nature. Strange, right? And I call it the Mapogo business theory. Okay. The reason why it's called the Mapogo is it's based off a group of lions that basically took over the sub-Saharan region, and they were taking over pride after pride after pride after pride, which is basically business. You know what I mean? Like, they were basically it was basically hostile takeover. You know what I mean? So you come into a market, and you find competitors there, and you have to, you know what I mean, set your dominance and take over. Except with the lions, it was brutal, but you know what I mean. So I came up with a theory called the Mapogo business theory, and it's based off of this group of brothers. Okay, I think it's really interesting, and I think it really identifies the personalities that you should have. You know what I mean? The personalities that you should have in your team. Of course, it's not from the onset. You're not going to have 6 members, but I think whether you're 3, whether you're 2, you should have at least a combination of these characteristics. So yeah, so hopefully you're listening to the next one, because I think it will even be more interesting. Yeah, so for today, listen, I think for the past 10 years, I'm still pretty young, but for the past 10 years, I have tried to build a business. From auto spares to poetry to goats to a car wash, and finally now technology, right, within my space. Currently I have a small startup that I co-founded with a friend of mine, and I think up to this point, something that I have learned is very critical or cardinal to success is your team, right? I think many of us, or many business owners or entrepreneurs, overlook this. They overlook what characteristics they need in their team. Okay, I think many of us just think, oh, I'll pick Chide, I'll pick this one, I'll pick that one, and it's gonna work out. But actually, it's deeper than that. It's from what characteristics do you need? Who should drive what team? Who should be responsible for what? Who's going to take care of what section of your business? And in as much as we generally think we have the capacity to lead each and every department, I think it's also vital to understand that we have specific characteristics that are that match certain departments. I mean, for me, I'll give you an example. I think, from my own analysis, I don't know what you're gonna think. For those of you that know me personally, I think I have a good understanding of what I want from people. I have a vision. I am strategic. I also I'm welcoming, you know what I mean? I'm a friendly guy. I'm brutal but friendly, you know what I mean? When it comes to business, we can be friends, but if you haven't delivered, you haven't delivered. For people who work with me, they know that I don't care whether you're my cousin, you're my sister will know this, you're my friend. I expect deliverables, and I think it's also I've also learned to be this way because of the number of failed businesses I've had. Not afraid to say that, but at this point, I've reached a point where I'm thinking, listen, I have failed up to this point, and I have learned, okay, and I will use what I have learned to build success. So for other people, right, especially the team I have is fairly new in certain sections. I think I exert that aggression because I've been there. Where they are now, I have been there, and I'm sort of like telling them, listen, I've been here in a sense, I've been here, and so I'm not going to accept any mediocrity. If you haven't delivered, that's up to you. Okay, and I think we've learned to grow. We've grown with each other, and we have learned each other, and we've learned what we expect from each other. Okay, so when you're actually forming a team, I think it's very important to know that you need vision carriers. If you're not the vision carrier, you need a strategist. You need someone who's caring. You know what I mean? Caring, or someone who cares about the success or the well-being of the company. You need someone who's going to be the aggressor, who's generally the CEO, the chief, no, not the CEO, the COO, you know what I mean? Someone who's going to run operations. And so building a team is probably the most important aspect to the success of that team. Because if your team is sluggish, trust me, you can be the most brilliant people, but you will not see any success. So that's why because I watch nature a lot, for those that know me, Nashon, so I watch the wild a lot, and what you will notice is the dominant teams, especially when it comes to lions, because they're my favorite group of animals actually. Or should I say they're my favorite pride of animals. When it comes to who's successful and who's not, the ones with the biggest, boldest, and balanced team or teams actually dominate for a longer period. And that's why I came up with the Mapogo business theory, because it was well balanced. You know what I mean? It was well balanced. There were different characteristics, and therefore it culminated into a successful team. Many a time we think, well, I need someone. You've heard those people saying we have nothing in common. No, chief, you don't have to have anything in common. Do their characteristics, do their properties for developers, for Java developers specifically. Do their properties align to what you're looking for? So if you're an aggressive individual, if you are aggressive, what are you looking for? You're probably looking for a strategist, because then you can carry on their vision, and implement it, so it's not about what you have in common, or whether, because I see many tech startups, right? You have 3 tech people. You know what I mean? Because generally a startup in Zambia, you'll be 5. I think when we started our startup, ByteHub, with a friend of mine, my co-founder, we were basically two of us. So you know what I mean. And the thing about it was, in as much as we both have a background in technology, I am a serious business enthusiast. Therefore, we kind of like had separate characteristics. He's more technical, you know what I mean. I'm still the brilliant technology, individual in the group, but yeah, he's more aligned to tech, and I think nothing else. His interpersonal skills are terrible. Sorry to bring you out in the open, but yeah, he's a lone worker. He likes to work alone, that kind of stuff. And I think I had a quick realization, and I knew, whoa, we can't build a team from this. We can't build a company from this. And so I started to deviate a little from just being tech focused into expanding I expanded my knowledge base. I did a lot of business management courses. I then went to pursue a master's in project management, and now I am pursuing some financial education. So anyway, going back to tech startups, many tech startups, they just take each other as tech individuals, you know what I mean, everyone with a background in tech, and start a company. And yeah, it works while you're in the ideation into the startup stage, you know what I mean. It works because you're basically creating your product, you're just starting out. But when you actually need to sit down and analyze the market, or sit down and analyze finances, do your financial projections, you know what I mean, calculate your returns, your ROI, and then you realize, wait a minute, there's just tech people here who don't even understand this. Then you realize how important it is to have a diverse knowledge base, should I say, or a diverse group of individuals with different skill sets. So what I did when we were starting out, we're still starting. Many of you can start going on Google, let's check out this company. No, we're still very much a startup. But what I did was quick realization. Like I mentioned, I deviated and started pursuing other skill sets. I also looked around and analyze our company and where the gaps were, and then I realized one of the gaps that we have is operations. We don't have someone to drive operations in our group. Okay, so we found someone. Okay, who's yet to join us, but we did find someone. So yes, we've been operating for 2 years without an operations, but that's because we've been in the developing of our product stage. And then earlier on, I realized one of the essential things about a business, what is it that you want? It's just finances. Don't lie to yourself, we're here to make profits. So I realized we need a financial expert. And so we went out, we went on the search, and then luckily we had someone we could trust, who's a friend of ours, and who was willing, because look, I mean, you don't have the money to pay on the onset. I start up. I'm not going to take my salary and start paying someone. No, I've learned the hard way. So at least we found someone who's willing to join the team and willing to to be part of the shareholders. And so he joined us as a financial who's our CFO. He joined us as a financial expert, so he handles the finances. So I don't have to worry so much about the finances, So so we did that quickly, and I think it's been beneficial. It helped us a lot, even up to this point. So generally, I think going back to how forming a team or building your company around a group of individuals who have a common goal, different skill sets to complement each individual, and also who are genuinely goal-oriented. That's one of the main goals. Take it from me, I have learned the hard way. So yeah, so I'm listen. I hope you listen to the Mapogo business theory because it is. I think it's phenomenal. It doesn't matter whether you don't like wildlife or nature or something like that. I think you'd still enjoy it. But the fact that it's built around something that's very relatable. I mean, all of us know how dominant lions are, and it's basically, the pride lands are like markets, and markets that are open basically, and the baddest lion takes it. Kayango Ulendo situation, you know what I mean? So yeah, so hey, listen, follow me on Facebook, The W.A.SPodcast. Follow me on Instagram, The W.A.SPodcast 2020. On Twitter, The W.A.SPodcast. Like and share, and stay tuned for Monday next week where we'll be discussing the Mapogo business theory. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Wilson Anderson Simwanza. See you next time.